Oh, is this Knight Rider?
Knight Rider.
Right.
A shadowy flight into the dangerous
You think
world
they would have
of a
used a
man
slightly
who
better
does not
car than
exist.
just the regular Pontiac Trans Am? It's between an IROC Z and a Pontiac Trans Am. Corvette. Wouldn't that have been a better GM product?
On a crusade to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, the powerless, in a world of criminals
This
who operate
dramatic
above the law.
introduction, pretty similar to his singing and acting career in Europe. But then again, who am I to say anything? Corey Johnson, as New Orleans says, coffee in the morning and oysters for lunch. Geesh. Yeah, you right. Thursday afternoon edition of the program. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for finding us. Metro New Orleans, Southeast Louisiana, Cajun country, Southern Mississippi, Southern Alabama, even down to the panhandle of Florida. Thanks for finding us. That's just sort of the regular old traditional, what do you want to call it, analog type way you can check us out. I'm talking radio and TV all over South Louisiana, Southern Mississippi, Southern Alabama, panhandle of Florida even. You know, you get into the intranet device and, you know, it's everywhere. It's worldwide. But just like the powerful radio station signals, there's kind of a little bit of a farce to all of that. I mean, the nice benefit is for the few that are traveling, they can take it with them, that kind of thing. But I don't know about you. I'm not listening to too many radio stations from another city in New Orleans. I don't know. I'm listening to 1200 AM. That's San Antonio, which, by the way, FYI, you could check that out. You could bounce between Graffinini. Where are the Pels now? On Conservative Talk 99.5 FM, I think. I guess you could listen there to the Pels, and you could be a geek, you and 7 other people, and go to the AM side of the dial and go to 1200 AM. That's San Antonio, and get their play-by-play. The Pels are in San Antonio, in the Alamo City tomorrow night. The point is, how many folks actually do that? And how many radio programs are you listening to on the internet device from other cities? I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying the vast majority of folks aren't. I'm in the business, so I'm doing it a little bit, but most folks are listening to what's out there. So, yeah, via internet device on YouTube, live streaming CoreyTalks.com. I guess I could go worldwide. That's why they call it the World Wide Web. But anyway, you get the gist of it all. Our bread and butter, where we've been doing it just for years and years and years, a few decades now on the radio. It's always been a talk radio show. That's sort of what it's all based on. That's our, first mover, I guess. And then it's expanded into television all over Louisiana. And then live streaming, CoreyTalks.com, our website. And then over the last few months, we jumped on that YouTube train that's just trucking along. Almost yanked my arm off. That thing's doing like 70. I just grabbed that railing, and we're on it. CoreyTalks.com has a link to the YouTube channel. Or just go to YouTube, go to that search bar, put in Corey Johnson Neutral Ground, and you can find us that way. Hey, click to subscribe on our YouTube channel. It does not cost anything. Send the link to a friend or a pal via email. Get them to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Corey Johnson Neutral Ground on YouTube. Yeah, live streaming. Television is Cox Channel 4 TV. Your View Louisiana, all over Louisiana. Cox Channel 4 weekdays at 4. If you have charter television in Louisiana, Spectrum, same thing. Spectrum Channel 333. Anywhere in Louisiana, we're there 4 o'clock weekdays. Our radio home, oh so fine, 93.9 FM. 93.9 FM. I beelined across the causeway, went to Trey Yen in Mandeville. I was listening to crazy Alex Jones for a few minutes. He's absolutely nuts. It's insane. If you're conservative and right wing and you go way to the extreme right, I'm not even there. I'm way, way over. You see Attila the Hun? I'm beyond him. I'm Alex Jones. Bah. Sue this, sue you. Sue me, sue them, sue us. Sue together. By the way, I'm married to a woman named Sue Smith. And you're lying. Anyway, I listened to a little of that today. I think before my program, there is a program called Locked and Loaded, if I'm not mistaken, that leads into my show. Locked and Loaded. It's a family-oriented program. Bring the kids, sit around the Victrola, and enjoy yourself with Locked and Loaded. Anyway, I was listening to Oh So Fine 93.9 FM on the causeway as I beelined over and knocking out some work over there, and of course popping in and checking out Trey Yen. Why would I not? It was lunchtime. You know, if you're thinking fast food and you're over there in Mandeville, like seriously, you think I'm going to go get some McDonald's or something. You'll spend the same money, not for Chinese food, Chinese cuisine, for Trey Yen, 18 different lunch specials to choose from. I got the number 14, the sesame chicken, and instead of the sesame, I got tong cho sauce as a substitution. Wow, is that stuff good? Trey Yen in Mandeville. So no, I went there as well, checking out Oh So Fine 93.9 FM and Alex Jones. And you can also check out the program on New Orleans' own 107.9 FM, 107.9 FM. When I was talking about southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, panhandle of Florida, a lot of you folks, you know, it's your weekend spot. Maybe it's South Louisiana, going to Grand Isle, that kind of thing. Wherever, whatever it might be, chances are 600 AM. Yeah, the AM side of the dial. Honey, what's that? Our vehicle doesn't have AM. If you have like a 2022, 2023 vehicle, I'd say about a 1 out of 30, you don't have AM in that vehicle. Maybe 1 out of 25. Like where it was an impossibility before, it is a possibility a brand new car may not have AM radio. Anyway, yours probably does. AM 600 from Baton Rouge. I get an email from a guy, snaps a photo of 600 AM in the car checking out the program, emailing us Corey at CoreyTalks.com. Anyway, CoreyTalks.com, the website has all this info. YouTube, TV, radio, where you can check out the program. Always a safe place to land. Pretty cool out there right now. Like not cold, but colder than cool, I'd say. You don't need like a coat, but you need a jacket. You can't really go short sleeves. I don't know. I got a buddy, I joke with him. Hey man, you know, it will be playing golf and I've got on like, you know, a scarf or like a gator thing and a hat and something over my ears because it's like 45 outside, like literally 45, and it sustained 45. And even though you're moving around, it's not like I'm uncomfortable or shivering or something, but you know, I've got some layers on. This guy, I'm like, get your Hawaiian shirt out and your shorts. Some folks aren't affected by it. You driving down like Ferret today or anywhere around Tulane, there's going to be some kid from Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania. He's got on flip-flop shorts and a T-shirt today, walking to class at Tulane, and this isn't bothering him at all. But it's probably 55-ish, 58-ish, a little below 60. Feels a little better in the sun than in the shade. Yeah, you get in the shade, it might get cold. Anyway, that's the kind of weather we have for a little while longer, going into like overnight. Tomorrow morning, I don't think it's going to be as cold as it was this morning. And then it's a lot of 60s and 70s for like the next week straight. 60s and 70s for like a week straight. Got a lot to discuss on this Thursday afternoon. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines. Love to hear from you. 766-9480. The French Quarter's looking pretty good. A lot of French flag representation, businesses and the like around Royal Street, Jackson Square, where Emmanuel Macron, the French president, will be tomorrow in our city, visiting a city founded by the French, New Orleans, founded as a French city. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, now with 4 area locations. Canal at Carrollton, on the North Shore in Slidell, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, and now in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about fresh local fish like flounder, snapper, and speckled trout, fried, broiled, or grilled. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, local size. Go to AC.com, no cool spots.
Hey, Marigny, Bywater, Tremay, French Quarter, CBD, Warehouse District, Garden District, Irish Channel. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
Lebanon's Cafe's been open since 11 this morning. They'll go till 9:30 tonight. They're open right now. You could be dining outside, right under the green awning, pull the table right out under the awning, out into the sunlight, under the oak trees on the streetcar line. You could be enjoying lamb chops right now. You could be enjoying shish kebab right now. Yeah, like shrimp, beef, chicken, or lamb. Shish kebab. All your Middle Eastern sides like tabbouleh and baba ganoush, hummus, mujedra. How about a fried football kibbe? Yeah, you right. Lebanon's Cafe. You could be at Lebanon's Cafe right now. Winding down the day outside with some friends at an outside table, nibbling on some goodies from Lebanon's Cafe. Don't forget that Lebanese tea. Lebanon's Cafe. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. I mean, I can go off on this place, but I'll end it with this. Seriously. I'll end it with this. Huge portions, authentic, fresh, priced right. It's just tough to beat. Consistent. Lebanon's Cafe. Kind of coolio and the gang outside, mid to high 50s, maybe 60 degrees right now. I don't think it is. I don't think we've reached 60. It definitely doesn't feel like 60. As my mom would say as a child walking out the door, you need sleeves. I got to put on some sleeves. Emmanuel Macron coming to New Orleans tomorrow. Hopefully we've done a nice cleanup in the quarter. Whenever we have big events, we sort of clean the city. If we have like a big dignitary, remember when the Pope came, the highway from like the airport into the city was like really freshened up, you could tell. Carrollton Avenue, because he had to go to the Archdiocese, the Notre Dame Seminary there at Carrollton and Walmsley. They planted palm trees. And I remember planting trees from off the interstate to that just everything where the physical vehicle was noticeably cleaned up. And, I was like, wow, why can't we have it like this all the time? It's cleaned up, and let's just make sure that the inmates, all of us, don't throw crap out of the car and into the street. But it's such a bad habit around here. It is just in a lot of folks' DNA. They could be doing this program right now and just fling something out the car window and just be talking about litter. I see, I don't know what normal people, it looks like to me. They seem normal. The vehicle's not held together by bumper stickers. Like, man, that guy's got 100 bumper stickers on his car. I'm not saying he's some abnormal total freak, but not the total normal person. He's got 100 bumper stickers on the car. And I'm not saying that's somebody who's prone to littering or not. So when I say normal people, it could be a woman who's like 40 and might have kids, black, white, sort of, middle class or even higher, like educated, has a nice vehicle. Just there goes the crap out the car. I'm just like, wow. I don't know. I mean, for me, I don't know. Maybe I need to look harder to really come into, total focus on the perpetrators. But I always say it's everybody. I don't know if I can say it's like the Latino community or the Asian community, generally speaking, and maybe folks go, I can. They're terrible too. But I definitely can speak for black and white people, male and female, old and young, affluent and not, public school kids, private school kids in their uniforms. Mom, dad with the kids, minivan, Mercedes, Corolla, whatever. I see just a bunch of crazy folks that litter and throw trash out. It's insane. The folks in the trucks just blow me away. When you throw, like, you crunch up paper or put a aluminum can or something in the back bed of the truck. It's really interesting, man. Put it back there, and then later it's not there anymore. The trash wizard came and took it. I think the recycling wizard came. No, it blew out on the causeway, which means it blew into the lake. Good job. Now, if you have a truck and you throw paper or can, something lightweight in the back of the truck, and you're going to be driving over like 40 miles an hour, why are you throwing it in the back of the truck? To like fool yourself into thinking you're not littering? Is it some game you play with yourself? If truck drivers, and when I say truck drivers, like a F-150, a Silverado, a Ram, like a pickup truck drivers. No, that's obnoxious with the trash and the garbage flying out the back bed. I don't know who you're kidding with that technique of littering. It's a neat way of littering. I threw it in the back of my truck and then it flies out later. That's your trash. No, but so many folks just throw crap out on the street. I don't get it. I honestly don't. It kind of burns me up. There's nothing I can do about it. The only thing I wish, and I wish I had a bag of money and first-class airline tickets. I wish I could go back in time and would have shooting video and catch the person doing it, the license plate, a clear picture of them, and maybe there's some after-the-fact deal. But it's just people that throw their trash out and litter. It's much worse than anywhere else in New Orleans and in Louisiana. Metry's worse than a suburb in in the rest of the country, and the North Shore is worse than an exurb around the rest of the country with litter. Go across the causeway right now. Heading north, up causeway, up 190, whatever the hell it is, and the chain link fence, there's litter and trash, styrofoam cups and to-go containers and crap all up against that fence. Not as bad as New Orleans, obviously, but it's not like it's clean and pristine like it should be, because the same, I tend to want to say animals that throw it out on the South Shore, the same animals that have moved to the North Shore and do it there. I mean, why would it change much? But I don't want to say animals because of Tolly and Blue Boy, Sparky, Puffy. I don't want to say animals. I love animals. No, it's people that act uncivilized, I guess. Anyway, going back about 5 minutes, hopefully they've cleaned up, the route from the airport coming into the city. Gonna, spit shine this thing real quick. But I do know in the quarter, Jackson Square, Royal Street, the New Orleans collection, the schedule for Macron tomorrow, a lot of French flags, French banners, the balcony with the half circle thing. I don't know the name of that. I don't know the little banners with the little flags on them, but a lot of, red, white, and blue French flag colors. Macron will fly into New Orleans tomorrow from D.C. It's a day trip. It's a hell of a day trip. He'll do the French Quarter Jackson Square thing to start, walk around the quarter, end up at the New Orleans collection, the historic New Orleans collection on Royal Street. Then he gets whisked away to NOMA, the New Orleans Museum of Art at City Park. He'll give a speech on how we keep up French traditions, especially the French language in Cajun country in Louisiana. Dinner, I'm sure, somewhere really nice. He'll get a great New Orleans meal, some really nice restaurant. Then he's going to Frenchman Street, the Marigny Triangle. Check out some of those clubs and bars. And then back to Louis Armstrong International, where he'll jump on, I'm guessing I would have to say it's an Airbus. It's got, country of France, French flag, nice plane. He'll get on his French, I don't know, probably like an A320 or something like that. Nice, fairly new Airbus plane and fly from Louis Armstrong back to Paris overnight. That's a pretty good day trip. Hugh Culverhouse, who used to own the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Culverhouse family, I believe, sold it to the I'm going blank. The Glazer family. They own Manchester United. They own the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, obviously. They have that house to the right on Audubon Place. Big Tulane supporters. I think Avi Glazer's wife went to Tulane. The Glazer Plaza, major multi-million-dollar donors to Yulman Stadium. Before the Glazers owned the Buccaneers, the Culverhouses did, Hugh Culverhouse. And the story goes that Hugh Culverhouse would be sitting around like 4 or 5 o'clock in Tampa. Honey, where do you want to go eat? And the wife would say something like Bayona in New Orleans. And he'd be like, okay. And the limo would drive them out to the airport where their jet would be fueled up. They'd literally walk out the limo onto the jet. The door would close. Less than 3 minutes later, that jet is flying across the Gulf, landing at Lakefront Airport where another limo is, whisking them away to Bayona in the Quarter, where they casually enjoy a great meal and then get back in the limo to Lakefront Airport, jump in the jet, fly back to Tampa, get back in the limo, back to the house. I don't know, 10:30, 11 at night. They're back home in Tampa, and they went to Bayona for dinner. And supposedly this gimmick happened multiple times, like dozens of times. Hugh Culverhouse, hey, we're going to have dinner in New Orleans tonight, and flying on the private jet that evening for a half a day trip, a night trip to New Orleans, an evening trip for dinner. Unbelievable. The wealthy. You got to love it. Corey Johnson with you.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Tommy's Lock and Alarms is now hiring service and installation technicians. Great benefits, great pay, take-home vehicle. Apply today. Tommy'sLockandAlarms.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Why wear the same old glasses as wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday. Dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Enjoy outdoor dining on the streetcar line, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, The finest in Middle Eastern cuisine. Carrollton at Jeanette. Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Morrell. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Changing talk radio in New Orleans for the better. It's Corey Johnson on the Neutral Ground. Every weekday afternoon on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333 from 4 p.m. to 5:30.
That's kind of a silly one too, Jason. Anyone doing a program that's just, quote, talk radio is making it for the better in New Orleans. My God, it is a talk radio desert. You have a better chance of finding a good restaurant or groceries in New Orleans East than finding a good talk radio program in New Orleans. JP Morrell is pretty relentless. He wants the police chief gone. I said he wants the police chief gone? JP Morrell, pretty relentless. Thank you, JP. We'll try that again. Corey Johnson with you. No, JP Morrell earlier today at the city council chambers. He said this for months now. It's nothing new. He does not like Chief Ferguson and said the police chief needs to go months ago. He's been on this for a while. And he continues to say that. And there's been a lot of things that have taken place with the chief and the NOPD and things that they are trying to do. And I'm not trying to take up for the chief one bit, but I think right now at this point, I don't think there'd be any dramatic change, anything different that would be going on if there was a new chief. But we'll talk about that. This is JP Morrell at the council chambers this morning.
To look at the survey that the president put out. It didn't say, is cronyism a problem? It said, add your comments. It's also a multiple choice test. Looking across the comments, cronyism, nepotism, preferential treatment, they were volunteering these words, which tells you that's how prevalent it is, and that's perception of officers of the department. I've been saying the same thing since March of last year. We need a chief. Period. We need a chief. And we keep throwing money. You can repair the hull of the Titanic over and over.
Wow.
But if the captain keeps driving it into an iceberg, nothing's going to change. And I really believe, no matter how much money we throw at these officers, that we're not listening to them. The original survey done by Police and Justice had pay as number 4. Number 4. Months ago, officers told us the management at NOPD is terrible. We responded as an administration of the city going, here's more money. In the midst of giving them more money, when given a survey, they responded, the management at this place is terrible. We are ignoring what officers are saying. We are ignoring the reasons they're telling us for leaving and saying, money will fix this problem. And this resolution is so important because in 6 months, I promise you, money will not fix this problem.
That's City Council Vice President JP Morrell talking about the changes at the NOPD. And his number one point is that he's been making for a while is NOPD Chief Sean Ferguson has to go. This is Sean Ferguson replying to that.
I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I think we need new leadership at the council. I mean, that's just where we are today. Unfortunately, instead of us being the leaders that we should be and working together, even despite our differences, it is our responsibility to communicate with one another and work together for the betterment of our community. And unfortunately, this toxic environment that we're in, the climate that we're in today, does not allow that. So we're working as best as we can in our silo situations.
Well, I mean, there's some validity, I think, to what he's saying with that. Honestly, seriously, I think the chief JP Morrell, I'm not saying he doesn't have a right to say that there needs to be a new chief, but that can be his opinion. And it's sort of like when I talk about, I used to mention like Buddy D or Peter Finney, even like John DeShazer, when they're writing columns, it'd be critical of the coach. The next day, they're right in front of the coach. Well, it's kind of like you can be critical of the chief and say he has to go, but it isn't like, and I'm shutting down any communication or trying to work with the chief until that happens. You have to continue to have a line of communication open and work with the existing chief, even though you want him ousted. And maybe that chief convinces you that, man, he's doing a good job. He doesn't need to go. Maybe it solidifies your opinion more than ever that he needs to go. But I think the chief makes some valid points. It's toxic environment. I could point the fingers and say there needs to be some council people, some new council people. Who can argue with that? I mean, the New Orleans City Council is as a body functions better than the NOPD, or the executive branch. The mayor operates better than the council. I mean, seriously, that's why I always talk about, how important the IG is. We see how dysfunctional the Sewerage and Water Board is because it physically rains and it physically floods. So we see it. It's like we're punched in. It can't be ignored. We don't see the shenanigans going on with all these other city departments and agencies. And then the IG does some audit or investigation, and you find out all these people making money that aren't doing anything, no plan, no goals, no rhyme or reason. Each and every day, people just showing up, just winging it. No wonder potholes don't get filled. Takes 10 days in any city in America, takes over 200 in New Orleans, just insane stuff like that. Now, New Orleans is, for a lot of city government, for some folks, it's a job, and they go to work. And then for, I would say about 50%, and you're welcome to call in and refute and discuss this all day long. Rouse's Markets phone lines 504-766-9480. 766-9480. I'd say 50% aren't pulling their weight at all. And you can break those folks into a bunch of categories. They try hard. They're just not qualified to do the job. They just got the job and can't do it. They're people that just don't do it. They're lazy. They choose not to work. They're people that are criminal, deviant in nature, that what can I get away with? What can I steal that isn't hammered down to the floor? And then there are people literally that just are totally in it for themselves. Get me the job because I contributed to a campaign or something like that. That's what's so scary or worrisome about people working at home. City Hall, you don't have people cracking the whip. You don't have people, a boss on top of folks telling them what to do. Enough. Man, civil service says, I stopped working at 4:59. Civil service says, I don't have to complete this project in a day. I can take 2 days. It's just a bunch of excuse making and nonsense. This environment that's not real. In the private sector, the business would go out of business and all those people would lose their job. But in city government, it's like, we can lose money. We'll get bailed out. Efficiency, productivity, not important. Where in the private sector, efficiency and productivity are vital importance. Like the focus. At City Hall, it's the opposite. City government, state government, it's the opposite. It's like this free ride. It's this job in La La Land. Everybody else works a real job, basically, where they have to earn their money. I work for the city, so we have all kind of BS going on where I don't have to put in a full day's work, a full week's work, full month, full year's work, and still get paid. And are very inefficient in productivity and getting the job done and getting it done right. And come on. It's like a pothole being repaired, and 3 days later, it's all sunken in and back to a pothole again. It's like that wasn't fixed right. Now, I see the Earhart Expressway. Have you driven on that lately? They've literally put in might be a 3-foot section, 8-foot section, 10-foot section, brand new concrete. You can physically see the color change on the road. You can't even feel it in your car. It's perfectly done. If you couldn't see the color change, and a week earlier they had cones, you have to go around it. Now that lane's open, you wouldn't even have known they've done the repair. So can they do it right? Can it be fixed right? Sure. In the city of New Orleans, we choose to not do it. That's accepted. That's accepted. So many departments are inefficient, broken. I mean, I wouldn't put my money on any single department except something like the Office of Inspector General. That is part of the city. It is funded by the city, but it is sort of outside city government. Not sort of, is outside of city government, is fully autonomous, has no political connection. The mayor can't change the IG. The council can't vote him out. In Jefferson Parish, the council can change the IG. Why do you think McClintock is no longer in Jefferson Parish? I have dropped the ball, Jefferson Parish, and I admit it. I will get David McClintock on this program to discuss, and it's been like 3-4 months now, why he's no longer the IG in Jefferson. It's a weak IG. It doesn't have any bark or bite. That's how the politicians want it. They can defund it. They can lower the funding. They can control it. They can oust a guy, bring in someone that works a little easier with them. That isn't what an IG is about. You want the one like in New Orleans, full-blown autonomy. Going in and doing what's supposed to be done to begin with. Transparency. Here are the books. We have nothing to hide. We know what we're doing. We're balancing the checkbook like you do at home with your money. It's all there for everyone to see. And here's our productivity, what we've done. We're proud of it. Are you kidding me? In New Orleans, those agency heads run from it. They sue so they don't have to give up the information to a city entity, although autonomous, the IG, that by law is required, if they choose to ask for it, to receive that information. It's insane. It's crazy. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, JP Morrell wants the police chief gone. I don't think that's happening. Coming right back.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30, and they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. And right now, Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockанdalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metry. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal: everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good, and we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Recently, Kim Kardashian was seen at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
Let's party.
Can you think of any other celebrities that won't sue us? Super Discount Store in Chalmette. The lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. 3235 Paris Road.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson.
I bet his smells like sandalwood.
Corey Johnson.
He's absolutely magnificent.
Got to keep this up to 6. Wow. Pretty sickening story. The Spencer family in New Orleans East, their dog got out. I still don't know all the details. I hope the Spencers are responsible pet owners. That would mean their dog has a tag inside of it. It's chipped. It's microchipped under its skin, a super small microchip that can be scanned by a vet or a animal hospital, whatever, and they know right away at least the vet that takes care of that animal that put in that microchip, and ideally the owners of that animal. And second, a collar with, a name and phone number, the dog's name, King Zuma, maybe address, phone number of the, parents of the dog, and also the rabies tag, the valid rabies tag on that collar. I don't know if any of that went down. I don't know when this dog that got out. And again, going back to the Spencer family, if neighbors say, man, King Zuma gets out all the time. Those 3 things are important. If King Zuma gets out all the time, if he's not chipped, if he didn't have on a collar with the rabies tag, that's a problem. But if King Zuma never gets out and it was just an accident, then it's no fault to the Spencer family. And if they had the collar and the rabies tag and he's chipped, then it's no fault to the Spencer's family. Now, even if it is fully the Spencer's family's fault that the dog gets out all the time, it's not chipped, and they didn't have a rabies collar, and they don't even know if they have rabies shots. The Louisiana SPCA has no excuse to mistakenly put this dog down. So I'm just trying to give you every angle of it. It's a sickening story. The Louisiana SPCA's mission statement: promote, protect, advance the well-being of Louisiana companion animals. They take in thousands of animals every year, but they're putting down like 600 a year, some number that's crazy like that, including by mistake, which doesn't cut it, the Spencer's dog, King Zuma. This guy might be able to put a little more clarity on it, what I'm talking about. Pet ownership, am I being realistic and correct, or am I off the charts on it? Jeff Dorson joins us every week, the Humane Society of Louisiana. Totally different. They have nothing to do with the Louisiana SPCA, a totally different organization. HumaneLA.org. That's their website. Jeff's been at it for over 30 years locally. He joins us live again. How you doing, Jeff?
Corey, always a pleasure, always grateful. Thanks for beating the drum on this issue that's near and dear to me and a lot of folks. Just being kind and considerate to animals. Doesn't take a whole lot, but it's needed.
Yep. Hey, Jeff, it's not a competition. This isn't about capitalism. You're not against the Louisiana SPCA, but I'm sure I can speak for you, maybe not, but they should be a no-kill shelter. They receive about $2 million a year from the city. They have a bunch of locked and loaded donations nationally just because they're an SPCA. They have a bunch of local folks that are some rich, some wealthy, that every year just write that check to them. So they've got a few million locked and loaded every year, and I kind of think they do sort of a questionable job at best. But shouldn't they be a no-kill shelter at least?
Well, no kill in our industry means at least a 90% live release rate. I don't know. I can't figure out their statistics because their employees tell me one thing off the record and their records show something else. I can't really comment. I don't know. Here's my experience. That's a difficult agency to work with. Sorry, I'm not doing sour grapes. I'm just saying from my point of view, we get their phone calls because you can't get them on the phone.
That's right. That's exactly right.
It's a very difficult, cumbersome system to call 311 prompt 1, and maybe you'll get somebody, but you can't get the person from the SPCA to respond. You can't send them an email. You can't send them photographs. So we get an enormous amount, a high volume of their calls, and we are forever, I can't say apologizing, but trying to explain the system to the residents who are paying for services that aren't provided very well. So you don't know if your calls are going to be answered or when or what's the outcome because they won't tell you. So it's a very difficult system that doesn't work. It doesn't serve the public, sure doesn't serve us because we're having to do a lot of their work for no compensation and no communication. I have tried everything I can think of. Texts, phone calls, and emails, short of going over there, to say, we can't keep up with the volume that people are trying to get through to you. And so we get a lot of silence. So it's not a good system at all.
No, I agree. And I think someone needs to investigate the $2 million the city gives to this agency every year and what the New Orleans taxpayers get for the $2 million. I question it because of exactly what you're saying, Jeff. I mean, this is the deal. I've known Jeff for probably 30 years. I used to just do stuff exclusively with Jeff. And then for whatever reason, I don't know, I wasn't doing animal stuff for a year or two or something. And Jeff and I weren't doing stuff on the radio for a year or two. It had nothing to do with any kind of breakup or we didn't get along or anything. And then I started doing some stuff and just, I don't know why, I went with the Louisiana SPCA and I was promoting them for a while. And then just lack of communication as a citizen calling on a Saturday and Sunday about a stray dog or something, no one answering, no truck available, no one, and then sort of not an appreciation for what we were doing every May. I went back to Jeff and Jeff's so appreciative and the effort's just the exact opposite. And when there's a stray animal, they come. 888-6-HUMANE is their number. 888-6-HUMANE. Their website's HumaneLA.org. You can find them on Facebook, Humane Society of Louisiana. Donate yourself, your time, donate money right now, HumaneLA.org. They're the real deal. They take care of dogs and cats, kittens and puppies, goats, horses. Jeff, always a pleasure, brother.
It looks like Blue Boy's telling you we'll do it again next week.
Yep, and we'll talk about some of the things that you guys are doing and why you need big donations. HumaneLA.org. Do it now.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Where can you find shish kebab in New Orleans? Lamb, beef, chicken, shrimp, plus all your other Mediterranean favorites. Lebanon's Cafe on the streetcar line. Lunch, dinner, and shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
For years, you've been hearing about the virtues of Springfield Wellness Center and their successful treatment of over 1,000 individuals who overcame their substance addiction. Now it's your turn. Here's Springfield's founder, Paula Norris Metier.
Our Brain Restoration Plus Detox Treatment is an intravenous nutritional supplement that restores the brain's chemical imbalances. Our patients detox with minimal withdrawal symptoms. It also blocks the craving, which is unbelievable and which is why most people say they have a hard time believing, but it restores neuron function. Many treatment programs use one drug to get you off of another drug. At Springfield, we treat the problem. Addiction is first a brain disease. If you or a loved one suffer from substance abuse, please just give us a call.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center now, 504-291-2800. That's 291-2800.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's called more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metry location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metry and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarm. With smart home technology, control lights, locks, cameras, thermostat, and your alarm, all from your phone or laptop. Smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metry, you think about their daily lunch specials like red beans and rice, black-eyed peas, white butter beans, liver and onions. Daily lunch specials. Fury's restaurant in Metry.
Where are you? We got some work to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now. Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you. Pretending you got a sliver. You're not fooling me, 'cause I can see the way you shake and shiver. You know we got a mystery to solve. Scooby-Doo, be ready for your act. Don't hold back. And Scooby-Doo, if you come through, you're gonna have yourself a Scooby snack.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Thursday afternoon. Uh-oh, that sun's dropping out the sky, getting a little cold out there. We're not really having a major temperature drop tonight. I think last night was worse. I think what we had this morning, we will not see over. What we had last night overnight and this morning, what you woke up to, we will not have that overnight and tomorrow morning when you wake up. But it'll be low 50s, I think, tomorrow morning. But for about the next week, just some pretty amazing weather. Lots of 60s and 70s over the next week. Just a lot of 60s and 70s after tomorrow's 50s in the morning. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's going to be 60s and 70s for like the next week. Very mild. I don't think we'll see 80. And I don't think we're going to get like into the 40s. Might have some high 50s, might have some high 70s, 60s and 70s after tomorrow morning for like a week straight. Could be some glorious weather out there. I recommend getting outside and enjoying it. It's one of the reasons we live down here. You may not think it. You definitely think it when you're thinking about moving, you know? I think Canada is a great country, honestly. I think Canada, it's almost like, you know, Christianity and Episcopalian. It's like that a lot of the Christians will call, or Catholics, I should say, Catholicism and Episcopalian. It's like Episcopalian is like Catholic light. Doesn't have any of the baggage of Catholic. A lot of folks like Canada doesn't have like some of the baggage of America. I'm not living in Canada. It's friggin' cold up there. It's like north of the Dakotas. No shot. No, we live down here. It's one of the reasons. The weather is fantastic. Now, it's wet down here from Houston. I mean, the I-10 corridor, literally from Houston to Orlando, basically. I mean, that's south of I-10. What do you want to say, to Jacksonville? That's like the wettest part of America. About 60, 65 inches of rain a year. I mean, Google the city. Houston annual rainfall, 58 inches a year, 62 inches a year, 65 inches a year. Google Lake Charles. Google Lafayette.
Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Gulfport, Biloxi, Mobile, Alabama, Pensacola, Florida, Destin, Florida, Panama City Beach. Go right on down. Gainesville, Florida, Jacksonville, 55, 58, 60, 62, 65 inches of rain a year. It's the wettest part of the I-10 corridor. But I've mentioned this, you go up to the great Northwest, like Portland, Seattle, even up into Canada, Vancouver. They get about 50% less rain than we get. We get 65 inches a year. They might get 38, 40 inches a year. We have 60 more days of sunshine, just New Orleans compared to Seattle or Portland. We have 65 inches of rain a year. They have about 40. We have 60 more days, 2 more months out of 12. 2 more months, 60 more days a year of sunshine than Portland or Seattle here in New Orleans. So, no, there's a reason we live down here. And the weather's part of it. And right now, like when this is like cold, this morning was cold, and right now it's kind of cold outside. That's like as bad as it's getting for like the next week. It's going to be some glorious weather, 60s and 70s. Make plans, get outside, enjoy it. Go hunting, go fishing, get the boat out, go for a walk, start your exercise routine for next year now. I'm going to try to do that instead of waiting for the new year, get some done in December. So I'm ready to take on the new year exercise routine, not starting from scratch. Take advantage of this weather in the next week. Play a little golf. You play tennis, got to do some landscaping. I always mention helm paint and decorating. You got to paint. It's helm paint and decorating weather the next week. Sure, I can fade into a helm paint commercial. 7 locations, free 2-hour delivery. Benjamin Moore products. It's literally helm paint and decorating weather for the next week, week and a half. After tomorrow, 60s and 70s. Yeah, you right. Get out and enjoy it. Tomorrow's going to be a glorious day. And that, like today, weather-wise, even a little warmer. And it's perfect because Emmanuel Macron is coming in from D.C., the president of France, tomorrow. And it's a day trip. That's it. He's flying in on the big, I don't know what the Air Force One of France is called, but it's the French president's plane. I'm going to go out on a limb here, an Airbus plane. He'll fly in from D.C. and land at Louis Armstrong International. And then he'll get beelined right down to Jackson Square in the French Quarter. The mayor will be there to greet him. They'll head on up into that Pontalba apartment. That policeman friend was there when Cox Cable had to wait for the Cox Cable guy to hook up Cox TV. They can watch some TV. Hey, president, come on up to the apartment. I'm mayor, you're president. We're off the clock in that apartment. Off the clock. Come help me water the plants out on the balcony. We can wave to the people. All right. Sorry. Macron will go to the French Quarter, Jackson Square tomorrow, meet the mayor, walk around the French Quarter. There's lots of French flags and, French drapery type, the red, white, and blue hanging off balconies and stuff. Looks good. And then they'll end their walk at the New Orleans collection, the historic New Orleans collection on Royal Street. Governor John Bel Edwards will be there. Then it's off to Noma in City Park, the New Orleans Museum of Art, where the French president will give a speech on the Louisiana-French connection, the French language still being spoken in Louisiana, Cajun French. Then dinner, I'm sure, somewhere really nice, one of the city's best restaurants. And then he's going to Frenchman Street after dinner. The Marigny Triangle. Who helped this guy set this trip up? Someone did it right. Seriously. This can't be all on the mayor. This can't be all on the council. This has to be someone from Macron's office in France that really has a good New Orleans connection. Someone that works at the French consulate that understands New Orleans, because this is a good trip. French Quarter, Jackson Square, walk around the quarter, go to the historic New Orleans collection on Royal Street, Noma and City Park, dinner somewhere nice, Frenchman Street, the Marigny Triangle off Esplanade. That's nice. That's like, man, if you say he's going to the Maple Leaf on Oak Street, I'd be like, all right. I mean, he's not going to Bourbon Street. And then back to Louis Armstrong International Airport tomorrow night, where he'll jump on that French Air Force One and beeline across the Atlantic and, I don't know, wake up around early, late morning, lunchtime in Paris. A day trip, New Orleans, for Emmanuel Macron tomorrow. Good stuff. I'm fired up about it. New Orleans is a city. Am I proud New Orleans? We're in the United States of America? Of course. I'm proud to be an American where at least I know I'm free. Lee Greenwood said it best. But I'm glad we're founded as a French city, not as a colonial city, a British colonial city. No, the French and the Spanish influence. We're going to get the British colonial influence, American influence by default, because we're going to be part of America. But great stuff.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future. At the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Morrell. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
For over 30 years, one of the premier security companies in New Orleans and South Louisiana has been Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring. Come and work for one of the best security companies in the region with great pay, great benefits, and a take-home vehicle. Tommy's Lock and Alarms is hiring, and they're looking for you. To apply for one of these coveted positions, go online to tommyslockandalarms.com. Tommy's Lock and Alarms.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Producing tomorrow's talk radio today, Corey Johnson.
This is tomorrow's newspaper. Precisely. I already went further ahead into time to see what else happens.
Your View, Louisiana. That's Cox Channel 4 in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Lafayette. And live streaming at CoreyTalks.com.
Future. Unbelievable.
Cleaning up the city. Emmanuel Macron will be in New Orleans for a day trip, flying into Louis Armstrong, I guess, late morning. We'll be out of here by, I don't know, maybe 10, 11 tomorrow night after he hits Frenchman Street to check out some jazz. Pretty cool stuff. I'm enjoying this. I like that the French president's coming to New Orleans, puts the spotlight on the city. There'll be national news organizations, international news organizations following it. It's going to be a gorgeous day tomorrow weather-wise. Lots of color, pageantry, the red, white, and blue of the French flag all over the quarter. Hopefully lots of great shots that make people go, damn, look at New Orleans. What did Roosevelt say? Franklin Roosevelt. You don't have to leave America to go to Europe. Just go to New Orleans. No, just people from around the world. Boy, that's in the United States of America. Yeah, New Orleans. I know. Just a great reminder, great marketing tool. There's nothing negative about Macron's visit. And I love the style of it. Going to Frenchman Street to end it, to listen to music. It's brilliant. That's like what a Yaddy New Orleanian would do. You notice it's on, going to walk down Bourbon Street and get that big-ass beer. It's called culture. Frenchman Street, some of the hardcore folks would argue, getting a little too like Bourbon Street, getting a little too commercialized. Some would. I don't know. But it's still lots of, organic, just kind of natural New Orleans right there. And Bourbon Street's just a toilet. No local wants to go to Bourbon Street there. It offers us nothing. Zero, nothing. Seriously. I mean, unless you're going to like Dickie Brennan's Bourbon House or that Redfish Grill, Ralph Brennan's place, or Felix's, or, Acme's not on Bourbon, it's off Bourbon, or Galatoire's or something. There's nothing else. It's a toilet. Anyway, I love that Macron is going to Frenchman Street. That's real New Orleans. It's so strange. He's not stopping in Metry. I don't get it. Why isn't he stopping like Vets and Cleary? The president of France will stop at Vets and Cleary and walk around. He'll walk to the Clearview Shopping Center. He rode the escalator at the Target. He rode the escalator at the Bed Bath & Beyond. That concluded his trip to Metry. Oh, sorry, Metry. Hey, speaking of Metry, Severn has officially reopened. Severn, in between like Vets and West Esplanade. It's all new. It's exciting. It's new. It's hot. It's Severn. It is pretty nice. They have like a bike lane, a big curb that people are going to ram into. Not as bad as Claiborne's. You remember on Claiborne's when they added those little corner curblet things, I'll call them. I guess it's stopping folks from hooking a right turn onto a bunch of streets. You remember on Claiborne's, like in between downtown and like maybe Louisiana? They added those big curbs. I'm driving down Claiborne's one day and I'm just watching this girl. smash right into one of those curbs. All of them have tire marks on them where people have hit them. Some have chunks of concrete where the bottom metal part of the frame chassis of the car ripped it up. It's not that severe. There is a little confusion for folks that I've seen. I'm not confused, but folks are confused. Imagine New Orleans drivers confused. If you're going down the new Severn, past, say, 17th Street, past Lakeside, heading towards the lake. As you approach West Esplanade, there's a new turning lane that's on the right side of this curb, sort of not in the middle of the street, off to the right, because there's a bike lane. It's protecting the bike lane from traffic. You have to kind of go through the curb where there's a cut in it, obviously, not over it, across the bike lane into this like turning lane. And it's very confusing for folks. They're very confused. I go to that bridal shop right there because I like putting on women's dresses and stuff and looking in the mirror at myself in the women's dresses and going, hey, look at me in the women's dress. Okay. Anyway, I go to the bridal shop because she's a tailor, the lady that owns the bridal shop right there. And she's really great, by the way, like shortened sleeves on button-down shirts and stuff like that. And you can give her kind of, I tell her, I go, no, this is below your pay grade. Can you just patch these jeans, And she'll put like another piece of denim over them and you can kind of get away with it because it's blue jeans and people think, he paid that. He paid $400 for those with the patches. Anyway, she's done stuff like that for me, but she's really talented. And I go to her at the bridal shop and I do try on the bridal dresses. She lets me. But when I'm pulling out of there, that's where the cutover is. So you have people exiting the parking lot, people coming over to turn right on West Esplanade, and it just gets crazy. Anyway, what's the best, worst road redo? I like what they've done on Severn. I like the cobblestone and the brick and stuff at the intersections. It looks classy. It looks good. I like that cobblestone on Oak Street when they redid that a while back, and it seems like they did it right. I don't see any potholes. The bricks and that inlay they did like on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview, not so nice. At least durability-wise, duration, it's lots of bricks that are broken, sinking. I don't know, the concrete bed that the bricks where they lay the bricks in, do they do that right? Is it a concrete bed under that, or the bricks just laid on, asphalt? I have no idea, but that's not lasting so long. In Gentilly, I'm all for bike lanes, but I think like when Gentilly Boulevard's 3 lanes in each direction, it's a major thoroughfare. It's like Highway 90. You eliminate 1 lane, so it's 2 lanes in each direction, and that 3rd lane is a bicycle lane exclusively. I think that could have been a bicycle lane, like a 3rd lane of traffic with the bicycle lane, white striping, whatever, the imprint on the lane. So basically telling drivers, hey, if there's a bike in this lane, they've got the right of way. But 99.999999% of the time, there's not a bike in that lane. Go check out my Twitter at Corey Johnson. There's a better chance of finding a husband and wife with their Popeyes chicken order riding their 4-wheeler in that bike lane than a bicycle. No, I do have that video, the 4-wheelers, and they are riding on the bike lane on Gentilly. No, I have nothing against bike lanes, but bike lanes that really aren't needed exclusively are silly. It's like Barone Street downtown. In the CBD, everybody knows what I'm talking about that works in the CBD. They're like pulling their hair out of their head. It was 2 lanes to get out of the CBD to the interstate on Barone. And some genius said, hey, let's turn one of those lanes into a bike lane exclusively. Now, if I'm on that street and it's bumper-to-bumper traffic like you're seeing today, and there's hundreds of bicycles in the bike lane, I'm like, I guess that was a good idea. But there's no bicycles in the bike lane, and there's bumper-to-bumper traffic in the left lane. And it's got to drive those people in the CBD absolutely crazy. No, you keep the 2 lanes, and the right lane has that bike lane imprint thing. And if a bike is there, they have the right of way. You have to go around them. But 99.9999% of the time, there is no bike there. Best, worst road redos in the city, 504-766-9480. 766-9480. Now, you go to California, someplace where the driving's a little more civilized. I guess you could pull that gimmick on Marconi by Delgado and the stadium, where it goes parking, bike lane, curb, and then 2 lanes of traffic, sometimes only 1 lane of traffic. That thing is sort of crazy. When they first did that, I was like, what the hell is this? When you need those stick things, those, the stick with the reflector to kind of guide traffic, it's confusing. Hey, regular curbs and striping's not enough. Maybe not the best road design. Let's head to Metry, a.k.a. New Orleans West, home of traffic, lots and lots of traffic. Tom joins us on the program. What's up, Tom?
Yeah, you really have to wonder about some of these traffic engineers around here. I mean, who ever heard of entering the interstate from the left side?
Tom,
like at Williams.
Tom, don't get me started. Williams and where else? Williams and they did it right at Power, I think. You enter from the right. Williams, you had that mile-long entrance lane to hook up into, but they did it on the cheap, and you enter from the left. And then a Causeway Boulevard, you enter, where it's 7 lanes wide, where you're about to merge I-10, I-610, you're entering from Causeway from the left side of the interstate. Yeah, don't get me started, Tom. That's
Corey, when they were building Causeway, I'm looking at the stanchions going on the ground. I'm like, what in the world is the finished product going to look like? I had no idea. There was no way that you could ever imagine what they're doing. But I think one of the worst, and not by durability, but it's just ugly. And they had such a perfect opportunity to make this place, the lakefront. It's all concrete now. I don't like it. I don't know. Maybe that's what they had to do.
I'm kind of torn on that, Tom. Was it, water constantly flowing over? I remember they put sheet pile finally behind the seawall. The seawall, when I was a kid, you could swim under like the seawall and be underneath it, Yeah. So they put the sheet pile, I think, on the backside. But I don't know if the grass, just anytime the, brackish water came over, it killed the grass, and there was no way, and they had to do concrete. But it's a lot of money spent. Is it perfect? I don't know. I'm not sold on it. I don't think it's perfect.
I sent you an email. Look, we used to pass by where the French fleet kept their dignitary airplanes, the French Air Force, I guess. And they used to fly some rinky-dink airplanes, man. They flew some really old Airbus, like the original 300, 310 series. I think he's now in a 330, which is really long range, the one he's flying in. So it's a wide body jet. He's not going to fly down here in the 320. It's narrow body.
Yeah, that makes sense. It looks like a wide body, Tom, and it looks modern. It looks nice.
Yeah. And I'm sure you know this, but Airbus actually has a plant in Mobile.
Oh, yeah.
So next time you talk to Michael Heck, say, what happened, dude?
Oh, no, it's nauseating, Tom. Mobile's got they do more containers at their port than we do in New Orleans now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a missed opportunity, and you hate to see it because they're putting out a lot. They're far behind on schedule. There's a lot of orders for those aircraft. So
now I'll tell you this too, Tom. Once they build that bridge over the Mobile River and a new Jubilee Parkway, you're going to have a new bridge over where the tunnel is, and then instead of like that 2-lane, you're going to have like a 3-lane each direction, like New Orleans east to Slidell. Once Mobile does that, it's about a $2 billion, $3 billion project. We're all going to have to pay a toll when you go into the southern shore of Alabama or the panhandle of Florida. And Mobile's going to explode. They're going to have huge growth. That is stifling that city right now. And when that opens up, they're already proactive more than we are. Mobile, Alabama is already more proactive business-wise than New Orleans. That bridge and Jubilee Parkway will create explosive growth.
How am I going to catch up to my podcast when I'm not sitting in 3 hours of traffic going through the tunnel? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's where I exit by the Bass Pro Shop. I cut over to the right. I take the old highway and go, what is it, the Bankhead Tunnel in downtown? I've done that a bunch.
Don't spread that word around. A lot of us do that. So
yeah. I try to keep my the route secret, Tom. You're right. Folks are like, what? There's another tunnel near the other tunnel? Really?
Yep. All right, Corey. Have a good one.
Yeah, you're right, Tom. Thank you. Tom's right on the money. I don't like the convention center. Tom's mentioned the lakefront. I'm kind of torn. It's a lot of money. I guess it's nice. It's just, I don't know. People still enjoy it. I'm not saying you're not going to enjoy the lakefront, but it's all concrete. I don't know. It seems like if you're going to do that, there has to be like lots of covering and maybe even like fountains and things like that. Water features. I don't know. Convention Center Boulevard, sort of like the lakefront. They've spent a lot of money. Really nice. It's wide for where the conventioneers are, but they cut, 2 lanes in each direction down to 1 lane in each direction. It's kind of a pain in the rear end now by the convention center downtown. I think they could have kept 2 lanes in each direction, had a nice neutral ground, had the more than enough room on the other side. I mean, originally it was going to have a people mover and glass cover and all this stuff. We always get teased with what it could be, and then, we get the downsized version. Anyway, I know a lot of people put a lot of time and effort into that at the convention center, and it's a lot of volunteer people on the board and things of that nature. I get it. And it's easy for me to be critical. And sometimes I'm probably hypercritical. I don't know if Team Martin will ever forgive me. It's literally opening day at Louis Armstrong International. They're cutting the ribbon. I go there and I'm just blown away by the new airport. And one thing I noticed, like Seattle just built a second airport, a smaller airport in Seattle. It's right outside of Seattle. It's all glass, modern, like Louis Armstrong International. But the jetways aren't those like white aluminum tubes. They're glass. And I noticed that at Louis Armstrong, they weren't the modern glass ones. They were new, but they were the aluminum white tube ones. And they're not climate controlled. And the wheel, the big metal wheel where the thing can, it's like retractable. When it's pushed all the way in, you've got the widest part there. And then as that wide part pulls out, there's a secondary part that's a little skinnier and a little skinnier and a little skinnier and a little skinnier. That's how it retracts, and you can go in and out. And you can stretch it the length you need it. As you stretch it out, it might have 4 parts to it. It's like it funnels down at the doorway and opens up wider as you get towards the plane. So these different boxes that connect, they've got these metal wheels, and I noticed literally like orange rust on those boxes. I'm like, how can a brand new airport, you're spending hundreds of millions of dollars, you're spending millions of dollars on these jetways, they're brand new. They should have been glass. I know that's a more expensive purchase, but they're brand new, and I see rust already on them. I would be calling the people that did the jetway and be like, get rid of this rust, fix this problem. We just spent X millions of dollars on these from y'all. And so anyway, I see T, and the first 30 seconds, I'm just telling her, just blown away because I was, and then did a butt. And then she just looks at me with her head cocked. And T is the most positive person. Just T. Martin from the Brennan's family, Commander's Palace. I mean, T. Martin, Roger Ogden, Doug Thornton from the Dome, the old aviation director at the airport. Those are the big 4 movers that got Louis Armstrong International built, the new airport. More than Mitch Landrieu. Those are the big 4 movers. No, and T was just like, Corey, she didn't even have to say it, and she'd never say this. She probably didn't even think it because she doesn't think ugly, but she's probably like, you're such an idiot. Really? You're going to dog the jetways on this day we're cutting the ribbon? And then she asked me, do you know how much a jetway costs? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess they're like, she's like, no, they're not that amount. They're this amount. I'll get her on the program one day and apologize for my stupidity and ignorance and cynical, jaded opinion on opening day of the airport. Wow. It's so easy when, to go into like a brand new house someone builds and, oh, it's incredible. This is great. Man, why didn't you put this door here? You could have had that there. Why didn't you move this mirror there? Well, they did 1,000 different things, from the pilings to the foundation to the, I'm using 2x4s or 2x6s. Am I doing this? Am I doing that? What kind of granite? What kind of sink? What kind of fixtures for the sink? What kind of fixtures for the cabinets? What kind of cab? I can go on and on and on. So it's easy to come in after someone's done 1,000 things and be critical of 2 or 3 things. That's easy. It's easy to be like, screw you, you're a jerk. It's hard to be like, thank you. I appreciate it. Anyway, Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. Kind of cool out there. Temperatures in the 50s. Probably going to stay like around this temperature overnight, even into tomorrow morning, and then quickly go into the 60s. And then for about the next week, 60s and 70s. I don't think we're going to see anything near 40s on the South Shore for sure. Probably not even high 50s. And I don't think we're going to see 80 either. 60s and 70s after tomorrow for about a week straight. And some rain possibilities, but I'd say mostly sunny and nice. Tomorrow is going to be really nice for President Emmanuel Macron's visit to the city. Hey, Severn has officially reopened, you Metry folks. What are some of the best, worst road redos in the metro area? We played some audio for you earlier in the hour. You can always check out the 4 o'clock hour, 5 o'clock hour. You can check out this program, yesterday's program, last week, last month. YouTube, Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. Earlier this hour, we had some compliments of, I got to credit Cassie Sherm from Channel 6, the investigative reporter. She does a good job. I pulled the audio off her Twitter. The first cut was JP Morrell reiterating, adamant about this for months, just doubling down again today. The chief is the problem. The chief has to go. Use a Titanic reference. You can keep patching up the boat, but if the chief keeps ramming it into icebergs, it's going to eventually sink. And then the chief firing back like, we can be hypercritical. We can work together. The council needs some improvement. That's what I think. It's just, we shouldn't be doing that. It's toxic, that kind of thing. You can hear those comments, JP Morrell and Police Chief Sean Ferguson of the NOPD. That was earlier in the 5 o'clock power hour. Good news, Tiger fans, for your 3 o'clock Southeastern Conference championship game against number 1 Georgia. Jayden Daniels has been practicing so far this week and will play versus Georgia. Will start and play versus number 1 Georgia. Boy, talk about carpal tunnel syndrome city. 3 o'clock Saturday. Unbelievable. You got the SEC title game in Atlanta. Georgia favored by 17.5, 18 points over number 11 LSU. Georgia's undefeated. They're 12-0. Second straight regular season of undefeated play. LSU 9-3. SEC title game from Atlanta. 3 o'clock Saturday. CBS. Nationwide television audience. Right here in New Orleans. Uptown New Orleans to be specific. 18th ranked Tulane. The Waves 10-2. You can count on one hand and have a finger or two left over how many times Tulane football has 10 wins in a season. They're 10-2. They're a 3.5-point favorite over 22nd ranked Central Florida. They're playing for the American Athletic Conference Championship. That's in Uptown New Orleans at a sold-out Yeoman. The winner I shouldn't say the winner. If Tulane wins, they go to the Cotton Bowl. If Tulane wins, they go to the Cotton Bowl. Central Florida's 9-3. Tulane 10-2. Central Florida just about 3 weeks ago at Yeoman beat Tulane 38-31. Got ahead early, had a big lead. Tulane clawed back, almost pulled out a win. 38-31. I think they're going to figure out a way to slow down that quarterback Parmalee. And I think Tulane's going to be headed to the Cotton Bowl. First things first, they got to win at home at 3 o'clock on Saturday. LSU, it'd be a major upset in Atlanta against Georgia, 3 o'clock on Saturday. By the way, Tulane's on nationwide television too, ABC. LSU on CBS at 3 o'clock, Tulane on ABC at 3 o'clock. Too cool. Too cool. Gotta love that. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Hey, Young's Dry Cleaning, they've been with you for over 80 years, since 1940, pre-World War II. Since 1940, truly a New Orleans institution. You want to know why? Because they're the best dry cleaner in the city. Walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery, manless locker locations all over New Orleans and beyond. To find out more about the best, youngsdrycleaning.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
This is what Drew Brees thinks about Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Actually, Brees doesn't think at all about Super Discount Store, but they do have the lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law for beer, alcohol, and wine. Super Discount Store in Chalmette. Super Discount Store!
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our top Benchmore exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
For years, you've been hearing about the virtues of Springfield Wellness Center and their successful treatment of over 1,000 individuals who overcame their substance addiction. Now it's your turn. Here's Springfield's Dr. Richard Metier.
For over 20 years, we've successfully treated patients with substance abuse issues and have also had success with patients suffering from chronic stress, depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. We uniquely address restorative issues at the cellular level that impact mental health. We treat our patients with an intravenous nutritional supplement that helps restore various brain functions. Most of our patients have greatly reduced withdrawal symptoms. We work toward maximizing nutritional interventions while utilizing traditional medication interventions when needed. Our treatment works toward restoring the brain's health while returning the patient to a normal, dependent-free life.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center now, 504-291-2800. That's 291-2800.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home. For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With high-definition night vision surveillance systems, letting you see what's going on. Home surveillance that's smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them. In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Here's New Orleans native son, Corey Johnson.
Native son, great New Orleans. No, that's me.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
New Orleans native son. No, that's me. That's me, lady. Hey, every day we broadcast live on radio, on television, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. We're on YouTube, Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. It's all brought to you. I shouldn't say it's brought to you by. We broadcast from the Buddy Diliberto River Cities Total Maintenance Studios. River Cities Total Maintenance, honest air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately. That's all you need. They don't have the coldest beer in town. They don't have the hottest lottery tickets. It's honest air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately. That's what you want with an AC and heating operation. That's what you get with Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys at River Cities Total Maintenance. Honest air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately. Find them at NOLAAC.com, NOLAAC.com. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto River Cities Total Maintenance Studios. A little cold out there. Temperatures in the mid-50s. Nice night to maybe drop some coals. I might do some grilling tonight. I was talking last hour about Lebanon's and shish kebab. I might do my own shish kebab tonight. Who knows? Head to the Rouse's, grab some, I don't know, some sirloin or something and cut it up into cubes. Emmanuel Macron, French president, a day trip to New Orleans. Pretty good agenda, too. He'll arrive tomorrow from D.C. He'll go to the French Quarter, Jackson Square. He'll end up over on Royal Street at the historic New Orleans Collection, then New Orleans Museum of Art in City Park, where he'll give a speech about the French language still being spoken here in Louisiana. Dinner, I'm sure, somewhere nice. Then he's ending the night at Frenchman Street, checking out some music clubs. Then he'll go to Louis Armstrong International tomorrow night. Overnight flight. He'll be in Paris the next day, late morning, lunchtime. Emmanuel Macron flying in from D.C. tomorrow morning, mid-morning, spending the day in New Orleans. Yeah, right. That's good stuff. Severn has reopened officially in between Vets and West Esplanade. It's nice. Folks are a little confused with that turning lane if you're heading towards the lake on the new Severn and have to turn right at West Esplanade, but they'll figure it out. We're talking about the best and worst road redos in the metro area lately. I have nothing against bike lanes, but when you eliminate a lane like on Gentilly Boulevard and add a bike lane that no one's using, it seems sort of worthless. Make that third lane still a car lane and just put the bike lane sticker on it. Bikes have the right of way when they're there. Same thing for downtown Barone. Eliminating 2 lanes in the CBD where at 5 o'clock people are trying to beeline out of the CBD to the I-10. No, keep them both car lanes, but the right lane have the bike sticker. If a bicycle happens to be there, about less than 1% of the time, they have the right of way. Simple as that. Marconi by Delgado, I still don't understand that. Corey Johnson with you. JP Morrell, adamant, reiterating, the chief has to go. The NOPD chief has to go. The NOPD chief responding, need to work together, don't need this toxic environment. Yeah, he's like, oh, council, they need improvement. Good news, Tiger fans. Jayden Daniels ready to go for Georgia. He's been practicing. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. Fausto's Italian Bistro, some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian. They're open right now. They'll go till 9 p.m. tonight. Tomorrow night, Friday, Saturday night, they go till 10 p.m. Dine outside. Sit at the bar. Watch some World Cup. Dine inside the restaurant. Some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian. You will not be disappointed. Tonight for dinner, make it Fausto's Italian Bistro.
New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metry. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
For home surveillance, it's Tommy's Lock and Alarms. With smart home technology, control lights, locks, cameras, thermostat, and your alarm, all from your phone or laptop. Smart, safe, secure. Tommy's Lock and Alarms. Google them.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
You know, body language tells you a lot about what a person's thinking. For instance, that means she has an interest in the finer things in life.
The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
That means she also wants a little fun in her life, but only with the right man.
Corey Johnson.
Now she's pouring a Colt 45, and we all know what that means.
Yeah, you right.
Mind if I join you?
You must have read my mind.
Something like that.
The power of Colt 45. It works every time.
It literally does. I can't tell you how many chicks I've gotten based off of Colt 45 brand malt liquor. I've been in the store before and popped one open and been tackled by women. Just a magnet. I think I can safely say in the 70s, Billy D. Williams never hooked up with a woman. Never did. It never happened. Neither did Wilt Chamberlain. Hey, tomorrow, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. You know the drill. Fletcher Mackel for a few minutes. That's all we can handle. Frank Brightson talking food from his restaurant. Doesn't get much better than that on a Friday. And, of course, Michael Heck from Greater New Orleans, Inc. That segment's always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant who's hiring. Go to their website, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore. They got you covered, latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, latrim.com. What's that, Blue Boy? Folks should check out the replay of the program in case they missed it on YouTube or Anchor or iTunes or Spotify. Nice. Thank Jason, the viewing and listening audience, and remind folks to join us tomorrow at 4. Blue Boy, you're on the money. 93.9 FM New Orleans. Mañana.